of Roads Authority to discuss how Sam Nujoma's legacy continues to influence Namibia's infrastructure development and its impact on business growth. Very good afternoon to you, Doctor. Thank you so much for making time to join us.
Good afternoon.
Much
Thank
obliged.
you for having me.
Much obliged. Doc, you probably have seen more sunrises and sunsets than I have, and when we talk about road infrastructure, I'm sure you'd be in a much more better space to tell us how harrowing or how rough some of the journeys were coming from all the way from our part of Namibia and to come to, let's say, Grootfontein or to come to Windhoek, just to give us an understanding of how much work has really gone into having the roads that are considered as the best in Africa, and some of the, and also the maybe also in the top 10 of the roads in the world. Talk to us about that.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I think for us really to understand where we come from in terms of the infrastructure development, it's important for us to understand what the founding father, His Excellency Dr. Sam Nujoma, have done. After liberating the country, he undertook to develop Namibia. One of the priority which the administration undertook was infrastructure development. Just immediately after independence in 1990, you may recall that to travel from, by then Caprivi, it was on a gravel road. So immediately the government undertook to upgrade to bitumen standard of Ngoma, from Ngoma border post all the way up to Rundu and connecting Rundu to Mururani. And then also undertook to, through the collaboration of Botswana government and Zambia government, the construction of the Katimas Sheke bridge. Then from there, we again, the Sam Nujoma went ahead to ensure that we link Namibia to Botswana through Trans-Kalahari. That was also upgraded. Previously, it was a gravel road. And the link of Namibia to Angola through Oskango. So all these led now to the establishment of the economic corridors today, which we call Trans-Kalahari Corridor, Trans-Zambezi Corridor linking Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Zambia, and DRC, and also Trans-Kunene linking Namibia with the southern part of Angola, and Trans-Orange linking Namibia to the northern part of South Africa. So he also went ahead expanding, especially if you look in the south, the construction of house to Roshpina, as well as Roshpina to Oranjemont, and all these things. So the founding father has laid a foundation for the infrastructure development in Namibia. During his time, Namibia came up with, of course, Vision 2030, which really played an important role. And that came, I think it was around 1998, when he brought this to the attention of Cabinet. And that was endorsed, and Vision 2030 was established. In terms of Vision 2030, the sub-vision for transport infrastructure, which include road infrastructure, is to ensure a safe and cost-effective infrastructure which is available throughout Namibia. So that was one of the policy which he have. And the other one was really the road sector reform. Immediately after independence, the government undertook a study because they already recognized that we will have a problem with the funding of the road network. How do we go about that? So that study brought the creation of the The road sector study brought the creation of Roads Authority in 2000, as well as Road Fund Administration, and then RCC. And it was during the time of Nujoma when especially the medium to long road master plan was devised to ensure that we have a plan which focuses on the long term in terms of how we will meet the needs of Namibia in terms of road infrastructure provision. It was a time of Nujoma when we established the labor base as well as the establishment of the SME development post to develop our own capacity. Today we have contractors in Namibia because of that vision. So there are so many things through the national development goals, plans, which really drove the economic development of Namibia to where we are today. So, yes.
Yeah, building on where others have left off, and also keeping in mind the vision that the late founding president had for infrastructure in Namibia, especially road infrastructure in particular. How has that influenced the manner in which you steer the ship at Road Authority to play your part as well, to achieving the bigger picture?
I was very fortunate that in 2001, I think it was in June, when we launched the Weighbridge program at Onuno, in Angwena, that was my first time to really sit with the founding father to understand how he looks at developing Namibia. Then I remember at that time, he said, look, it's very important that we take care of what we have while we continue to develop and linking Namibia across. And he said to me, we were sitting, the CEO and others, said, it's not about you people sitting here, it's about the country and it's about the people we serve. So let's go out there and make sure that we make Namibia as one of or among the best among other nations. So that, to me, was really something which I said, wow. And then from there, I was a junior manager by then, but that one was always at the back of my mind. And when I became a CEO, I went to visit him again with my colleagues. And that time, he again repeated to say, now you are CEO, we want you now to make sure that every school, every clinic, every constituency, every village is connected to the economic belt of the country. And because of that, it inspired me and be able to rally my colleagues to say, we have a huge responsibility to do. The economy of Namibia moves on the wheels, so let's do that. And that's why today I owe it to him that we have one of the best in Africa. We rank #1, having the best quality roads. And because of the foundation and because of that inspiration, which personally really, and that was also strengthened by the former President Pohamba when it comes to the infrastructure, and also the late President Hage Geingob, even the current president. So really, for us in the road infrastructure, it's like we when we talk of Nujoma, we rejoice that we are celebrating a man, we are celebrating a true statesman who have dedicated his life to building this country for the well-being of the people of this country.
I've heard a lot of horror stories when it comes to going to neighboring countries. I won't mention which one, but the roads compared to ours, when you come back there, people will tell you, Jonas, if you go to this country, the way you'll come and just hug our roads, you'll literally get off your car and kiss the tar road in Namibia because of the quality and the maintenance that goes into taking care of these roads. That talks a lot about vision. We're talking about in 1990, where this man saw that, look, if we want to grow this country's economy, we need to have roads because goods needs to move, people need to move. How do you read into that? And not everyone has that type of vision to see that far. I mean, there are countries which have been independent for way longer than us, and we have surpassed them and especially when it comes to road infrastructure?
Yeah, yes, the founding father was really a visionary leader, very, very principled, a man whose legacy in terms of caring for the people, as well as especially for us in the infrastructure, will always be remembered and be cherished for forever. But sometimes when I reflect back, and also I've had an opportunity to travel to many African countries, and when you ask the history, they will tell you that, well, we had a good infrastructure, but immediately after this president took over, we neglected this, we neglected that, and today you see these potholes. And I think it was because of his vision to understand that for us to build Namibia, we will not be able to move goods, people, services through aeroplanes. We will be able to move through roads. And for us to build Namibia, we need to integrate Namibia to the rest of Africa through the neighboring countries. And that's why they concentrated on the establishment of the corridor, economic corridor routes, as I've mentioned them. He also understood that as you move forward and construct new roads, it's important that we preserve what we have. And that is what most countries neglect, the maintenance of the road. So with the founding father, even when he visited some of our places, he would say that you cannot build something and fail to maintain it. Make sure you maintain. That was his principle. Yeah. That's what we learned from him, and we kept that. And that's why you see that although our road network have aged, but are still in good condition because of that robust and very, very, very effective maintenance strategy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Taking care of what you already have.
Exactly.
Going forward, as we wrap up this conversation, looking at Sam Nujoma's legacy, what lessons can business leaders, upcoming or aspiring business leaders, can learn from his character, from the way he did things, and the way he saw the world, and understanding that what we do today will affect for the next 5-10 years? What would it be if you were to take a page out of Dr. Sam Nujoma's book, which you impart to the younger business or generation?
Yes, when it comes to the leaders, especially the next generation, when we were really talking, or when I read about the founding father, what I see is quite a very charismatic leader who believes in a vision, who inspires, but a very effective implementer, and a very effective, is value-driven and performance-driven. Therefore, for us really moving forward, and this I've heard from him, he believed in the principle of sustainable development. And I remember when we went to pay a visit to his office, when I became a CEO, I asked him, what do you mean by sustainable development? Yeah. And he explained to me very nicely. He said, look, let's use what we need today to meet our needs today. But let's make sure that we remove all obstacles which may hinder or limit the next generation to be able to meet their needs. That was really, and it blew my mind to say, wow. So I think his policies created a conducive environment for us. But one of the issues also he was very critical is, let's make sure we are self-reliant. That he was very, very clear. Every time he would say, let's do things for ourselves. Let's make sure we have engineers. That's the song he was always telling. We must have more engineers because we need to build our own roads, we need to do our own things. So that is the legacy. As for the business, it's important to realize that let's have business which will sustain our country moving forward. Business which will meet our needs, and business which will be able to live for long for the next generation to come. That's the only way we'll be able to sustain our economy moving forward.
All right.
Thank you.
Dr. Conrad Lutombi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Much obliged.
Thank you.
As the CEO of Roads Authority, Dr. Conrad Lutombi, sharing his memories as well, and how the legacy of Dr. Sam Nujoma also influences his leadership style and what is expected of us in terms of what already has been established. And one thing that stuck out for me was that, let us use what we need today so that we are able to still move forward tomorrow. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.